Our effort is to make India a great sporting nation.
Dr. Batra, I hope that you and the Honorable Minister become the Jodi number one.
I'm really privileged to be here.
May I request the Sports Minister to briefly spell out what his vision is going ahead in Olympism, Olympic education, how he sees India's progress in the sporting world, so to speak, and how he thinks India can become a sporting nation. The Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Izaz Memanji, and all the respected guests joined in this particular important session across the globe. We have Dr. Narendra Batra ji. He is the Indian Olympic Association President, and I'm happy that Mr. Santosh Mal, he is a very enthusiastic senior IAS officer, presently Commissioner for the Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan, is also with us. And of course, we have very important people joined here: Dr. Richard Young, Mohammad Reza Owaisi, Dr. D.K. Singh, Professor Arumugam, Mr. Prashant Kushwa, and Kamlesh Nanavati ji, and many more people. I have got a paper. I was very impressed with the list of participation in these 2 days. Very important international webinar on Olympism and Olympic education in the 21st century. Personally, I'm very excited to see such things taking place. You know, when we talk about a movement, a global movement, India has to be part of that movement. India has to be proactive in that movement. We are 1/6 of the humanity. If any movement has to succeed, India has to succeed at the same time. So I personally feel that the Olympic movement has to get deep rooted in Indian society. When we talk about education, I feel that not only for the students, not only as a subject for a section of people, but the society as a whole must understand the value and spirit of Olympic movement. From very childhood, I had been having a great, this fantasy about the Olympic movement. I have shared my thoughts in many occasions. In my ministry, when I meet many people, I keep on sharing this thing, that how much Olympic means to me and how much Olympic actually means to the humanity. Olympic movement brings a great spirit of unity. It sends across such a beautiful messages. So it's not only sports, it's actually coming together of the humanity to celebrate our existence, our spirit, our unity. So through Olympics, we can achieve many things. Over the past few years, I have seen that it has commercialized, and Olympic movement has become a very stiff competitions, and every nation is trying to get on top of it. So actually, there's nothing wrong in it. It's good. You must have that kind of competition to make Olympic much more attractive. So first of all, I must compliment the Indian Olympic Association, Dr. Batra and his team. So on the occasion of 32nd Olympiad, though this 32nd Olympiad is postponed by 1 year. So during this time, this webinar is being organized and the efforts are being put to create the Olympism and Olympic education in our society. I'm very happy to also share that we have already announced our National Sports Education Board. Now it is in a formation stage. I have constituted a very high-level committee.
Yes.
And this committee is under discussion how to bring National Sports Education Board into a shape. So my point is very clear, what my Prime Minister has already envisaged, and my other colleagues, especially the Minister for the HRD, Human Resource Development, which looks after the education. So the new education policy of India is also going to have sports as a part of the education, not sports not as a extracurricular activities. I always believe in that. Education is what? Sports is what? It's same. Sports is also an education. So sports cannot be extracurricular activities. Thereby, sports cannot be treated as an optional subject. Sports is part of the education. If you play sports, you don't play sports later on, it's different thing. But sports as part of education has to be accepted by all. So the new education policy, I cannot make an announcement right now because education policy, the new education policy of India is not officially declared yet, but it is almost in a final shape. So my ministry has already pushed very strongly during our interaction and my participation in the National Committee to make sports as integral part of the education system in India. So along with that, our effort to establish National Sports Education Board, I would like to make a commitment that very soon I will make sure that the committee members of the National Sports Education Board to sit with the Indian Olympic Association team led by Dr. Batra and discuss about how to integrate Olympism and Olympic education into our outlook, into the whole approach. So that understanding will have to be there. So I will ensure, and I'm happy to make this intention very clear here, that I will take it forward. This Olympic education is something which is something the society has to understand. The society has to know it. When I was without television, without newspaper, living in a far corner in northeastern part of India, I could feel the spirit and strength of Olympic movement. Why not everybody, especially people in the city? They should understand. Olympic is maybe, as mentioned, 10,000 players come together and another 15,000 officials backing. It's not that. The whole nation, the whole global community comes together. It's a movement for the humanity, all of us. So I'm very happy. I have so many things to share, but I know I will not go on. But today I feel very happy that I'm being invited. So once again, I would like to inform my friends in the Indian Olympic Association and everybody that Government of India will be always proactive in whatever steps and whatever decisions you take. Our effort is to make India a great sporting nation. To create India a sporting nation, we have taken various steps. All those important steps are, I strongly believe, are towards creating a sports culture in India. Without creating a sports culture, we will not be able to understand the Olympic movement. Olympic movement and sports culture, this is completely interlinked. That is why, as we talk about creating a sports culture in India, and as I mentioned, India being a large country, our participation and our achievement in Olympic also should have a higher position. Personally, India has been part of the Olympic movement. India has been participating in Olympics, and especially after 1928 Amsterdam Olympics, where India won the first time the Olympic gold medal in hockey. Since then, India has been regularly there. But personally, I am not satisfied with India's performance in the Olympics. That is because we did not have that kind of policy from the government or that kind of movement in Indian society to make sports as a culture in daily way of life. So now I have taken this drive. I'm working very hard with the Indian Olympic Association and all the sports federations to ensure that we take concrete steps to ensure that the Indian society becomes a very vibrant society in creating India a sporting society. So becoming the sporting powerhouse, first you will have to have a sporting culture in the society's mindset. I'm very, very happy that so many eminent people are here. Rather, I would like to hear from them and then also request Dr. Batra that please get me the gist of the entire discussion, which I can take it into the stride of the government's policy, because without the backing of the government, I know it will be very difficult to implement whatever important discussions and decisions you take. So you have my commitment. And also I want to inform that, as mentioned by Mr. Prashant Kushwaha about the Olympic Museum, and I personally feel that Olympic Museum is, I think, a very important treasure we need to have in every country. And a country like India, we have a good legacy. We must have that. So maybe after this COVID-19 lockdown, everything is over. I hope things become normal as soon as possible. We will discuss about having a beautiful, worthy of calling it Olympic Museum, maybe in Delhi, maybe in our national stadium, because our JN stadium is going to be overhauled through some process. So maybe national stadium or wherever it is suitable, we will have. I'm very keen to have a Olympic Museum in India, and at the same time, I would also hope that this COVID-19 has put a standstill on the entire sporting activities. I would like to ensure that at least we take some steps in couple of months' time. I have declared in one of my interview also. So I would like to ask Dr. Batraji and some relevant people that let us have some sporting events symbolically in couples of months' time. I will talk to some of the broadcasters also, maybe Star Sports, Doordarshan, or some group, because we are not going to have spectators in the stadium. So in the absence of spectators, we will have to work out mechanism for how to broadcast the event through live streaming, live telecast. So we will have to make it interesting. And we have to learn that sports without spectator also can be interesting. So let us work on that also, because that will give lots of confidence to the people. On the one side, we have to give top priority to our health and safety. On the other side, the activity must go on. We can't, be defeated by the coronavirus. We have to defeat the virus. So we will have to have activities go on without compromising the protocols for safety and security. So we will have to take a very balanced step, middle path, and we will have to move on. We can't just be talking and planning all the time. We have to get on the ground. We need to start. And I also hope that the Tokyo 2021, as being postponed by 1 year, will be worked out nicely. My message to the International Olympic Council and all the national Olympic bodies, that please work out a proper mechanism. I know the International Olympic Council is working out that we can't think about postponing one more time. It is unthinkable. So within that existing time frame which we have, 2021 July 23rd, the same Olympic 32nd Olympiad has to begin and has to be carried forward in a very different way, which we have not ventured into that territory yet. Very difficult, challenging circumstances. But as a human being has this undaunted spirit, I know we will overcome the challenge. So thank you for inviting me to this important, very in this webinar of Olympism and Olympic education, and also to understand the value of the Olympic movement and its impact on the humanity. We will have to understand that. Everybody must know what is Olympic. I can feel the spirit of Olympic. I want every Indian to feel it. In fact, every human being to feel it. There is nothing bigger event than the Olympic on this planet Earth. Olympic is the largest any kind of event for the human being. That we have to understand, and the value of it, what it brings along, that we have to understand. And for that, I think this kind of international webinar, these are very important And I'm sure all those people who are joining here will have a very valuable contribution and sharing of your experiences, your ideas, your knowledge, and share it amongst yourself. And I had urged earlier that once a concrete form of structured advice or recommendations come to India, to my government, to me as a sports minister, I will definitely ensure that we align with each other. I'm always, as a part of the team, always there, proactive. I will always be ready to be part of the team. So my best wishes to the entire team, the Indian Olympic Association, and all our friends. I'm told 19 countries have joined. So this is a wonderful, pleasant moment that we, despite having this COVID-19 difficulties, we are able to use technology and join with each other and carry forward the spirit of Olympics. We move together, we are united. Thank you very much.